Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm just going to do like a get ready with me and maybe even do like a story time with it. I don't know how good I'm gonna be at doing my makeup and doing a story time, but we'll see how this goes. Alright, so I guess I'll talk about my last video since I kind of touched on it last video. And that is the fact that my best friend of 10 years just ended our friendship. To give you a backstory, I met her in high school. And I'm not going to say her name because I don't want to get like in any legal trouble, obviously. But I met her in high school and we were both kind of like the loners in high school. A lot of my high school was really into like drinking and drugs, and that just wasn't for me. No shade, but I definitely wasn't into that in high school. So we met in high school, we were good friends, and then I went off to college. And she was kind of like, I don't want to say like jealous of that, but she kind of was. Like, she was very territorial with my friends. Very much a person of like, well, Rebecca is my best friend. And that kind of rubbed people the wrong way. I mean, I don't know, like I feel like sometimes people get like weirdly insecure about their friendships, almost like very territorial. Like, they just need to make sure that other people know that they were there first. I don't really get it, but that's how she was. And so a lot of my friends in college at the time didn't like that. Didn't like that she was like territorial of me, because, you know, I'm a person of being like, you know, the more the merrier, you know, like whatever. I feel as though like you want to be friends, fine. I can have more than one friend at a time kind of thing, but that's how she was. And a lot of people in my life at the time did not like that one bit. But you know, I would always stand up for her and be like, well, guys, like, she's been my friend this whole time in high school. Like, I'm not gonna just like get rid of the friendship. Even though there were definitely times where she wasn't the best friend to me. And I can sit here and admit that, you know. I don't think I saw it as much then, but she definitely, you know, we definitely had our big share of issues. And that was in my freshman year of college. So my freshman year of college, she was, lack of a better word, tried to be very involved. Like, she was coming to college, I want to say she came to my dorm either every weekend or every other weekend. And, you know, I was okay with that, whatever. Like, she wanted to make sure we stayed in touch. I didn't really go that far away to college. Like, it wasn't crazy far. It was about 45 minutes from where I lived. And fine, you know, like, she wanted to visit, whatever. So I then was friends with this kid. Let's call him James. And James and I were very close. And we had met earlier in that year. We went to a kind of thing where the college did something where we did like an orientation thing, and he was there and I met him there, and instantly, like, we gravitated towards each other and we became friends, and we talked all summer long, and I was really looking forward to him joining in the fall with me so we could, you know, kind of be great friends at college, and I wasn't gonna, you know, not know anyone. So that was cool. He ended up coming. He stayed for 3 days and then left. Hey, James. I'm sure he'll watch this video, to be honest with you. Anyways, he came, he saw, he left. So I was really sad about him leaving, but we stayed in touch and we were really close. Like, we would Skype every night, and just honestly, we had a great friendship. So this friend, I don't have a name for her. Let's call her Alice. We'll call her Alice. So Alice started getting kind of jealous of James. Like I said before, she was very territorial, and she definitely was jealous of James. Well, James had told me something really personal at the time. He wasn't out per se, but he told me a personal story, and when I was 18, I made some really stupid mistakes, and to be honest with you, I didn't even think about how when someone comes out, like, that's a very personal thing. You know what I mean? Like, you should let them do that on their own terms, and like, at 18, I didn't understand that as much, you know? No excuse, obviously. So Alice called, and I had mentioned something about talking to James for a while, and, you know, he told me something really personal, and I ended up telling her what James had said, unfortunately. Oh, you know what's really funny? I didn't even realize I am sitting here using the name James, and that whole thing with James Charles is like coming to light now. I didn't even think about that. But anyways, so I ended up telling her about the story James told me. Not even thinking anything of it, not even thinking like James would be really upset if I told Alice. Nothing of that came to mind in that situation, you know? And looking back, like, obviously I was so stupid to like do that and like trust Alice and whatever. What had happened was Alice came to visit that following weekend, per usual. James was Skyping me, and me and Alice were drinking, as college kids do, and I had said I needed to go to the bathroom, so I left Skype on with James with Alice, which was so stupid. Not a good situation, because I knew Alice had felt like, what's the word, threatened by James. So I walked away for just like a quick sec to go to the bathroom, and I came back and she literally sat there and told James that I told her what he told me. And James, not being out, felt so betrayed, and I broke his trust, and he was so angry and hurt at me, like with me, for doing that. And I do not blame him. You know, he trusted me with something and I broke his trust. So I was so mad at Alice, like, why did you tell him that you knew, blah blah blah. And I knew it was because she was like jealous of me being friends with James and feeling like, you know, James was like taking me away from her in a sense. And so she told me, you know, she didn't even remember, she was drunk, blah blah blah. I don't believe that for a second, to be honest with you. I feel like she definitely did it on purpose, looking back, and now knowing like the type of person she is, you know, it's like, I'm pretty sure she did do it on purpose, because she was so jealous of like all of these friends that I was making at college. We were just at different points in our lives, and I think like she was afraid to lose my friendship, and unfortunately she just, I guess, didn't trust me enough to know that she was one of my close friends, and I would never had given up that friendship. Just the type of person I am, you know? So that's the first thing that happened between us, and that was back in 2012. Over the years, things have just gotten progressively worse. James was really mad at me about that situation for months, and I didn't think we would ever be friends again. We still talk a little bit on occasion, not because of that situation, but just because, like, you know, life's gotten in the way and stuff. But yeah, that situation definitely sucked. And then a few months later, James had actually forgiven me. For those months, I just was so upset and like depressed, because I felt like I lost one of my best friends, and it was really hard. It was really hard. So in December, I was shocked when he had reached out and told me that Ed Sheeran, who was not big at the time at all, was going to be playing at, what was it, Jingle Ball in New York City. I thought it was a long shot, you know, to go. I knew I couldn't go alone, and looking back, I could have invited anyone else, but I decided I would invite Alice, which is insane looking back, you know? Like, why would I put James in that situation? Why would I put myself in that situation? So Alice agreed to go, and so we left the night before. We stayed overnight in New York City on the street, talking all night, and, you know, waiting for the show the next morning. Sucked because James had missed the train, his last train, and didn't get there till way later that following morning. Well, we stood in line, and Alice was super tired and cranky from staying up the night before. I was super excited because at the time, like I said, Ed Sheeran really wasn't popular at all. And James had gotten me into him. And I was obsessed. So I was really excited to be there. I was trying to ignore Alice's like shit attitude and just, you know, enjoy my time there. Because when was it that I was going to be able to not only see James, because James was from New Jersey at the time, but not only be able to see James, but be able to see Ed Sheeran there with James. And I thought, like, you know, it was just really nice because I figured that James was never going to speak to me again after what Alice had done. But that wasn't the case. Once James had gotten there, I saw him and I wanted to like go see him and like talk to him, but he was like further up. Well, I decided, fine, I'll wait till the concert's over and just go meet up with him. Well, the concert ended and Alice had won tickets to go meet Neo. People were selling tickets to Jingle Ball, and I was trying to convince Alice that we should just trade in the Neo meet and greet and go to Jingle Ball because, like, it's Neo, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't a huge fan of Neo. She wasn't a huge fan of Neo. Like, it would have been fine. So she was like, she was giving me such a hard time and was like, no, I just want to go home, blah, blah, blah. So then she like comes up to me and says her mom texted her and her mom said she needs to be home by 7. And that was like, it was like 5:30 right then, which means we would have had to leave right then. And I was like, no, I'm not leaving at 7, you know? I was like, I want to go meet up with James and like hang out and like talk, and it's been a while and like this is really important, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, my mom said we need to leave by 7. And I was like, well, I'm not leaving by 7, so if you want to go on the train before me, like, that's fine. So she got like pissed off, walked away with the phone chargers, the money, the all my cards, everything. I was like trying to look for her and I ended up finding James, and I was like freaking panicking. Like, I was crying hysterically and I almost tackled James, and I was like, James, oh my god, you know, Alice, we got into a fight and she walked away. I don't know where she went. She said she was gonna go to the bathroom, but I checked and she wasn't in there. And I told her to go home, so maybe she went home. James was like definitely cold towards me because of what I had done. And I do not blame him, because in that situation I was definitely in the wrong. And I remember him being like, okay, well, I'm leaving, so do you want to walk with me? I'm like, yeah. So I walked with him. It was raining, and I walked with him to the subway station so he could go back to Jersey. And I was panicking. I was like, I don't have any money. I don't have like anything on me. I don't know how to get home. My phone is dead, so I can't even call her. I don't know her number off the top of my head because no one like remembered numbers. I feel like now that we have like iPhones that save those contacts, no one really remembers numbers. At least I don't think so. And so I was like, well, can I come with you? And James was like, not having that, which I understand because, like I said, what I did sucked. And he was obviously still mad about it, you know? And so he was like, no, like, you know, I'm having some family issues at home, blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. I don't know what to do because I have no money. So I said, you know, I didn't blame him, you know, like, he was obviously still upset with me, and I was like, well, I'm just kind of panicking because, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get home at this point. I don't have money for anything. So I will never forget this. James saved my ass. He gave me money to get a taxi home and a train home. So thank God for him, because otherwise I still may have been wandering the streets of New York lost. And, you know, because at that point I'd only been to New York twice. I can get around New York now, but back then, like, not a shot in hell. So I was like, well, you know, thank you so much, blah, blah. So I hopped into the first cab I saw, and they took me to probably 2 blocks away from Grand Central, which was still scary for me because, like I said, I hadn't been to New York that often. I grew up a very, like, nervous kid, always thinking I'd be kidnapped, or, you know, like, all of that stuff on TV, like, really scarred me. My only thing, I really, at that point, I was like, you know, Alice probably went home, I'll just go home. So, like I said, I didn't have anything to, like, check my phone with. Didn't think to, like, go charge it at a Verizon store. Like, really, I was just, I need to get home. I'm scared. I need to go, you know? Like, I was very panicked. And so I got there, bought a ticket, went on the first train home. I did not want to be, like, hanging around Grand Central. You know, it gets sketchy. So I got there, grabbed the first train home. Started crying because I was like, I don't quite have enough to get a taxi. And my parents didn't really know that I was in New York overnight. So I really kind of screwed myself all around. So luckily, at the time I had an Android, and the lady across from me had an Android as well. And she saw that I was really upset, and she offered to let me use her charger. So I charged my phone, got in contact with my dad. Alice's mom started flipping out, sending me text message after text message after text message. You left Alice in New York, like, flipping out. And I'm like trying to explain to her, like, Alice walked away from me. Like, I didn't know where she went. I thought she went home, you know? Nope, she didn't go home. She went to the security guard. She was looking for me. Honestly, just like a miscommunication, and neither of us, I mean, she had all the phone chargers and the money. James, in that situation, was my hero. And after that situation with Alice, she never really got over that, which I don't blame her. Like, you know, accidents happen. What I wanted in that moment was to, like, see James, and I didn't really think that anything, that she would, like, walk away and, like, I wouldn't be able to find her. That's what happened with my ex-best friend in New York. And I think I'm just going to make, like, a little series about this, because maybe I'll make it like a 3-parter, so I can explain, like, what happened and, like, why our friendship, like, went downhill. Because if I keep talking, this is gonna be like 3 hours long and no one's gonna watch it. So I hope you enjoyed this story time of the time that my best friend left me in New York, or I left her in New York. I guess you guys can decide. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below to see more videos from me and more story times. I'm really excited to like get back into this channel and just really go full force and, you know, do my makeup, talk, and just share my life with you guys. So don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you liked this story time, and don't forget to turn on that bell notification to be notified every time I upload so you don't miss a video. And I love you all, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye, my little rays of sunshine.